My webinar on vision board training. But first of all, let's start with who am I and why do I feel I have the experience to teach anyone on vision boards. A little bit of background on myself. I am first and foremost a vision board enthusiast. I've done this since 2013 or 2014. Yeah, 2013. And the process has evolved for me throughout the years. We're now in 2018. I'm not sure when you'll be watching this. Hopefully it will be this year. So my background is this. I'm an attorney by training, and I am also a writer and an author mentor and a publisher. So I'm a writer and businesswoman. So this is a vision board is actually a very natural inclination given my background and given what I do, because to do what I do, either as a lawyer or as a writer, you have to be somewhat organized and you have to have a vision, right? You have to have a plan, even when it comes to writing out your chapters or what your book is going to be about. You have to have a goal in mind and an end, unless you never finish the book, right? So this is why I feel like I'm qualified to talk about this. And aside from that, I just have a passion for doing this because I'm a very visual person, and it doesn't happen for me. The magic doesn't happen for me unless I can see it, whether it be in my mind's eye or in actual practical or tangible forms. Now, the thing with having a vision just in your mind's eye is it's all well and good. That's fine. Most creative people do that. But between the vision in your head and the actual execution, there's some steps that need to occur. And if you're like me, you have a million things going on in your head at any given time. So it's really easy for something to drop by the wayside. And you're juggling so many balls, and before you know it, you see only the big picture, and then the little things drop by the wayside. And then what happens is that you don't complete your task. Aha, enter the vision board. So I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. But the first question I want to answer for you is this. Why do a vision board at all? For the reasons I just mentioned. You do a vision board because you have a vision that you'd like to execute, hopefully that year. And why a year? I just feel like a year is a practical amount of time to execute most goals. And sometimes, to be honest, I've achieved the goals even before the first month of the year is over. But it's good to have a plan, and it's good to have a goal, and it's good to have benchmarks that you reach. Especially if it's a huge goal, you divide that into 10 to 12 months, and then you don't feel so bad if by the 6th month, July or June or July, you haven't achieved it. Okay? So now, the next question is the pros and cons of doing it in a group. Now, for me, I think doing it in a group is the best way, and I'll tell you why. When you do it in a group, you're able to feed from each other's ideas. You're able to get materials from each other. I don't know if you can see, I hope you can see the table. I have a stash of magazines. I have like on finances, money. I have Oprah, a lot of Oprah, O magazine. I have Vogue, Lupita, love her. I have InStyle. I have Runner's World. Runner's World or Runner's Magazine. I have Experience Life. This is a magazine from my gym, Lifetime Fitness. They give a fitness magazine. I have Shape. I have Women's Health. I have a few Essence and Redbook and Style Watch. I wish I had more. So that's the thing. If I had other people doing with me, I would invite them and tell them that if they could, to bring a few old magazines. So I find that my pool would be enlarged. I don't have a lot of finance magazines, for instance. Like these money magazines I got from a vision board party I threw, and one of the ladies was nice enough to bring those in. And I think the few essences I got from someone also attending, and Redbook, because I don't have subscriptions to these. So another question, let's get rid of the practical stuff first. Where do you source for magazines? I would say the thrift shop is a good place. You can get them for cheap. Sometimes they're willing to give them away for free. Your library might be willing to sell them for cheap, but I will say Salvation Army is definitely a good place. And for me, I fortunately have a sister who has a lot of subscriptions to Essence and Oprah, so that's why I have all this. And I'm a runner, so mostly with marathon, with the races I register for, you get a free subscription to stuff. So I have my Shape and Self and Runner's World and Experience Life, like I mentioned before, is from my gym. So yeah, and actually doctor's office might be a good place, like your doctor or dentist. They might not mind you taking some of their old magazines. They usually have lots of copies. So anytime you go there, you can just take a magazine. Most times they encourage you to take one. So that would be good for health magazines or women's health and pregnancy, whatever it is. And and the best way actually is to host a vision board party or attend one, and then you can have magazines without having old magazines in your storage. Like you can just exchange or swap magazines or use each other's magazines. Coffee here. Oh, this was given to me by I attended my friend's annual vision board party, and she gave us all these mugs that said "Be Fearless." Joshua 1:9. I love it. And that's another thing. Even though I host my own vision board parties and I do trainings for people, for groups of women or groups of people who would want that, or companies, I also attend other people's own. And let me tell you why. For the reasons mentioned before, I like to do it in a group. But when I host mine, I find myself more in facilitator mode. So I'm unable to complete my vision board. So I find that when I attend my girlfriend's or someone else's, I'm able to focus, to be a guest and focus on my vision board. So that's why I tend to support doing it in a group. And another reason is, well, like I said, you get ideas from people. Okay, let's talk about some other practical things. Where do you keep your vision board? Some people, I just say keep it anywhere that you know that you see it at least once a day. It should be like how your thoughts are in your head. I feel like it should be in front of you at least once a day. It should be in the forefront of your thoughts. Some people say bathroom, but for practical reasons, maybe you don't want it to get wet or you don't want it to get near moisture or whatever. But at least the bathroom, you're going to, be in your bathroom at least once a day and, on the wall or whatever. And for that reason, I recommend using a sturdy material. Like I use a foam board, you see? And I use a white one, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Let me show you. This is maybe 2014 or 2015. First of all, I have to put down this microphone so you can see, so I can hold it up for you. Okay, hold on. Now, can anyone tell me, I'm not sure if you can see what is wrong with this board. First of all, it is huge. It is cavernous. So I felt pressured to fill it up. Like half the things, I could have been fine with half of this. And I just started putting like quotes on there. Nothing wrong with that, but I just used sticky notes. I didn't have enough magazines, clippings to fill it. And this was because I did it on my own. And then, see, it's not sturdy enough, so I can't even like spread it out to see what's on it. Needless to say, I didn't really achieve much on this board. And the material, flimsy, like I said. So it just ended up being rolled up in a corner in my bedroom. And then again, it's black construction paper, or black cardboard, construction paper. So because it's black, it would be fine if I had like all white clip-ins to really pop and stand out. But sometimes you can't find a particular word or phrase you're looking for, and I advise my clients to write it in with a Sharpie or a marker. You can't do that on an all black board, right? So that's why I advise people to use the whiteboards. Now, let me see. In 2017, I actually was looking for a word, which I didn't know existed actually, but I thought I made it up, but turns out it actually was a word, and it was the word influencer. And I couldn't find even the word influence anywhere. So I wrote it with some red marker, influencer right there. This is my 2017 board. Look at it right there. Yeah. And so if I had a blackboard, I wouldn't be able to do that because it wouldn't show up. So that's another reason why I say use a whiteboard. Okay. Now let's look at my other boards through the years. So 2017, I thought I learned, okay, you know what? Let's go to 2016. Okay, see what I did. I always try and put the year so that I remember what year I did it in. This is 2016. I was really into staying on the right financial track, so I put like a target goal. I had a clip in for stay on the right financial track. This corner was my money corner. Had Wells Fargo. I got a money clip out, make money, save money, respect money, because I thought like the main thing was I didn't really have a respect for money. So then, if you don't respect money, you can't really make or save it, right? And I really wanted to propel my publishing company, Story She Wrote. And so I had a lot of that in there. Seed in the Sky, Action, 5 Smart Ways to Build a Brand, One Woman and One Beautiful Story, because I'm all about telling stories, and it's a woman-owned company, and we focus on women's stories. A lot about my kids, mommyisms. You see I got a female that I thought represented me best and my children, Black women. Make your home into a haven, choose to be happy, being mom. Then I was really into running, still am. So I had a goal of running a half marathon in each state in 50 states. So I didn't put that exact goal, but I just put fun runs, running for your life, your strengths, and beauty stuff, yoga. Want to get more creative? Always want to do that. So this is an interesting story right here. I wrote SSWM app. That's the name of my company, Story She Wrote Media app. I had in my head that I really wanted to build an app for some reason. Now, I don't really know why, but it just, I was like, I really want an app. So I, talked with some developers, and it was like really expensive. Like for me, I found that I really couldn't afford it. But one of them asked me a question. He was like, okay, so why do you want to build an app? And I couldn't answer the question. And he was like, do you have a website? I was like, no, my company's mainly on Facebook and all, and blah, blah, blah. He laughed. He was like, no, let me tell you this. I could take your money and build you an app. But the truth is, if you don't have a website and traffic on your website and all that, there's really no need for you to build an app. Most people build an app to make it a mini website so that their clients or subscribers have somewhere at their fingertips that they can do like certain things on the app instead of going to the website. And I was like, oh, then it made me explore my motives for really wanting an app. And I found that I just wanted an app because I just thought it was the thing to do. And I thought it was on trend, and I thought I should have one. So that's a good thing about vision boards. When you put it out there, it makes you think about things in practical terms. When you're trying to cross things off your list, you realize what you need and what you don't need, right? All right, so that was 2016? Yes, that was 2016. So, another thing on this board, my partner looked at this and I was like, just made an offhand comment. Oh, okay, nothing about me on here, about us. And you know what? It's true. My focus was on everything else but on my, most intimate relationships. And I was like, that needs to change. So I made a conscious effort in my 2017 board, right? I dedicated a whole corner. You can see it up here. Rewriting his future, love